I love performing. I treasure the specialness of moments on stage. I love that moment when the audience gets quiet, full of anticipation for the music they are about to hear. When it's time to perform, my mind clears, my senses heighten, and I feel totally and completely alive. After all my years of teaching, I am convinced that every flutist has the ability to stand in front of an audience, be brave, stay present, and share music to the best of their ability. I also know how often negative thoughts, misinformation, and a perfectionist mindset can sabotage that ability. Whether you are a confident performer, a struggling performer, or somewhere in between, the ideas I share with you in this video can help you boost your performance confidence. This video, and also video 19 in the course, will follow a different format than you've gotten used to. We're still going to be searching for our secret sweet spots of understanding, collecting our clues, embracing the tension of opposites, avoiding perfectionist traps, and definitely basing things on love, not fear. But I want to talk to you about the ideas contained in Chapter 6 of the Aspiring Flutists Practice Companion. I poured a lot of love into this chapter, and I will be reading it to you, but I'll also be adding commentary along the way. One of the best ways to transcend your performance anxiety is to program your music with hooks. Now, when I say transcend, I don't mean that performance anxiety symptoms ever completely go away. I definitely get shaky hands, racing thoughts, butterflies in my tummy every time I go on stage. But programming your music with hooks can help focus your mind and give you strength during your performance. A hook is anything you can hook your mind onto during the performance. If you feel like performances are nerve-wracking tests, you can use hooks to transform them into something more meaningful. First, collect your hooks. Hooks can be as small as crisp, clean tonguing on a specific note, or as large as imagining a fairy tale plot to guide your entire performance. I definitely have this whole murder mystery plot for the beginning of Lieberman's Sonata. Anytime you discover an idea that makes your music more clear, beautiful, meaningful, or easier to play, consider it a hook. You can find hooks by doing your musical research, taking your teacher's advice, or discovering connections on your own. Collect your hooks as you go so you can develop specific and effective plans for your performance. There are an endless variety of hooks. Hooks can be sensory, information, or imagination based. They can be related to flute, body mapping, a composer, a musical time period, music theory, music history, dance, theater, visual art, movies, books, or even your life. Visual learners may like to hook onto imagery. Auditory learners may prefer to hook on to sounds, and kinesthetic learners may prefer to hook on to physical sensations or movements. I like to rotate hooks as I perform. Sometimes it's something super visual. A lot of times it's in the world of feeling, but I always return to the world of sound. To see if a hook is working for you, think about it while you're playing a run through or recording yourself. If the potential hook makes you more inspired, if it makes everything feel easier and more clear, then that's a really good hook to keep as part of your performance plan. But if the potential hook is distracting, confusing, or just feels like adding another to-do list item, busy brain fuel, keep searching for hooks that are more suited to the way your mind works. program your music with hooks that are customized to the way your mind works. If you're inspired by your hooks, they are going to be powerful in terms of transcending performance anxiety. Always remember the 1 second rule. Performing is intense. Once you begin, you cannot stop until the end of the movement or the piece. There's no time for you to remember long, complicated to-do lists. The only thoughts that can help you in the heat of the moment when you're feeling that performance pressure are simple, powerful hooks that help you instantly connect to the music. In order to ensure that a hook is one that will actually work for you during performance, remember the 1 second rule. Whether your hook is a picture you can see in your mind, a sound you can imagine, a feeling you can access, or a detail you can execute, you should be able to use it in 1 second or less. If you remember from the video on dynamics and tapers, I talked to you about my expressive adjectives PDF. I'll link that here below as well. These are really helpful 1 second hooks because if you have a descriptive adjective that's written very clearly on your music, it can snap your mind into action and you can say, oh, this is the brave moment or the glorious moment or the tender moment or the mysterious moment. There are so many adjectives on this PDF and they are a great example of powerful 1 second hooks. Hooks help your mind to access the physical, mental, and emotional resources at your disposal, and they also keep your mind on what's important, leaving less time for you to be affected by nervous symptoms. Make a special effort to program as many hooks as you can throughout your piece so that every single musical moment is attached to a hook. If you look at this excerpt from my Victorious Virtuosics exercise, you can see so many hooks described. Now, you don't necessarily have to write these things in your music, although you could. I just wanted to show you that having words or images or feelings, they can make all the difference when you associate them with your music rather than, I need to play these 3Ds perfectly clear, perfectly in tune with the perfect articulation. Perfectionist trap alert, right? If I think instead, here we go, and I've done plenty of harmonic check-ins so I know how to listen low, I have some things that I can hook onto that take no time at all to think about, and they help me in the moment, in real time. Here we go. Hooks can be so simple. Just make sure they make sense to you, they're inspiring and helpful, and it takes less than 1 second to think of them. Have you discovered the power of visualization yet? Since many of the best athletes and performers in the world use the power of visualization to help themselves prepare for competitions and performances, why not use visualization to help prepare for your competitions and performances? Whatever you wish for your performance, visualize it actually happening exactly the way you would like it to occur. Imagine yourself expertly navigating your way through challenging technical passages, singing and soaring your way through passionate lyrical passages, and feeling clear and confident as you share magical moments with your audience. When you imagine something so clearly that it seems real, your mind is much more likely to help you make it come true. The more you visualize it, the more accessible your ideal performance becomes. Think of crowds cheering for a football team, the excitement in the arena as an Olympic figure skater performs a routine, or the electricity in the audience when an inspirational speaker delivers a passionate speech. The positive energy of the crowd actually contributes to the success of the performance itself. Through the power of visualization, you can imagine the excitement and encouragement of an audience rooting for you. Hear voices in the distance calling out, "You're amazing, you've got this." Whether you are practicing alone or literally walking on stage right this moment, pump yourself up by imagining a supportive audience that gives you the energy to perform your best. What you say to yourself in the privacy of your own mind matters. When you perform, if your thoughts are negative, complicated, or overwhelming, the effects of these thoughts will be felt not only by you, but by your audience as well. If your thoughts are positive, clear, and simple, you will feel energized and ready for the results of all your wonderful practice to come shining through. Take care to plan the thoughts you want to think before, during, and after a performance, and enjoy the simplicity and comfort of following your plan. Just the same way we can program in finger transitions and we can program in excellent intonation, we can program in the thoughts we would like to think as we walk on stage. I've had the opportunity to ask so many flutists after a nerve-wracking performance experience, what were their inner thoughts like? And inevitably, they were some kind of negative, like worrying about this part, not wanting to screw up this part, feeling pressure about this part. That contributed to their performance anxiety. Look at this excerpt from the beginning of the Godard Waltz, and I just want to give you some examples of thoughts that would be helpful in your performance instead of dragging you down. Keep in mind, even though I'm using multiple words, all of these thoughts are usually more like feelings, and you are able to think of them in less than 1 second. Okay, time to do this. Here we go. Full breath in, feel my stomach and lower back expand, ground under my feet. Okay, we're in 3, pa pa, pa pa. Enjoying the piano intro, getting in the mood. It's all about the dance, violin, sleeping beauty. Feeling air comes in, fast air comes out. Muscle memory here, zoom in on this sparkling high note here. Sing along mode, now I'm going up, now I'm going down. Cute grace notes here, fun low notes here. Sing through this phrase, bounce through these high notes. Notice they're all energetic, optimistic, and very, very simple, powerful hooks. Though great musicians have the ability to be spontaneous and create uniquely special moments in every performance, more often than not, the magic is practiced in advance. You can create magic in your performances by intentionally turning your favorite musical moments into your audience's favorite musical moments. When you imagine performing as you practice, you will have a better sense of the special timing, dramatic dynamics, and vibrant characters that will help your audience connect to the music. In order to help your audience experience musical magic, learn to help yourself experience it first. Because the audience only receives a tiny fraction of the resonance, character, and connection that you are experiencing on stage, especially if they're in the back row, you must not only feel the magic yourself, but also deliver a larger than life version of it. Think of Shakespearean actors on stage. Their makeup, gestures, and even whispers must be so exaggerated that even those audience members in the furthest seats can understand what is happening in the play. As you practice magical moments in your performance, consider the audience's perspective so you can effectively share the magic with them. Here's a story about the most nervous I have ever been before a performance. It was the month leading up to my first fully memorized concerto performance, the Carmen Fantasy, and I didn't know what to do. I was freaking out. It was the most anxious I had ever been about performing on my flute. I was thinking, what if I forget a moment and the conductor has no idea where I am? What if I make a mistake so big that the entire orchestra has to stop? And I didn't know what to do. So I really dug deep and thought, I have to find a strategy. Otherwise, I'm just going to disintegrate. I was so nervous. And so I thought, okay, I do believe in the power of visualization. I was even teaching it to my students at the time. So I decided to dig deep and go further with visualization than I ever had before. Every time I played a run through of the concerto, I imagined I was on stage. I felt the warmth of the spotlight, saw the people in the audience, sensed the conductor to my side and the orchestra behind me. I even imagined the feel of the air conditioning in the hall. When the time came for me to perform, I was amazed by the sensation that I was not having a new experience, but actually stepping into a memory. Because I had performed in this setting so many times in my imagination, it felt like it had occurred in the past and I had already succeeded. Because of the power of imagination and visualization, instead of being terrified, I was able to treasure the performance as it was happening. When I watched the video back, I was so surprised and delighted. I didn't miss a single note. The very thing that I was afraid of went the complete opposite direction because I invested in imagination and visualization. Flutists often get caught up trying to find solutions for their performance anxiety symptoms. Sometimes practical solutions can help, but many times what you resist persists. Instead of fighting your symptoms, study them, get to know them, and accept them. If your heart is racing, say to yourself, I knew that would happen. If your palms are sweaty or you have butterflies in your stomach, keep breathing and think, no problem. This is normal. This means that I care about what I'm doing and my body is preparing for an exciting performance. When your mind and body truly accept what is happening, they won't need to fight so hard for you to get the message that you are about to have an intense experience. You may be surprised to find out how common some of your performance fears actually are. From beginners to high-level professional musicians, insecurity is an almost predictable response to the anticipation of a high-pressure situation. When you are feeling nervous, positive self talk is the best idea, but if that doesn't seem easy or accessible to you, try questioning your fearful thoughts instead. Questioning your thoughts can help you accept the worst case scenario in order to feel more empowered. This is often as easy as continuing to ask the question over and over again, okay, so what? I feel like I'm going to mess up. Okay, so what? Well, that would be really embarrassing. Okay, so what? What do you mean, so what? Everyone would judge me. Okay, so what? Well, I guess not everyone would judge me. Most people do realize this is a difficult piece, but I worked so hard and I want this to go so perfectly. Okay, so what? Okay, maybe it's a little unrealistic for me to expect perfection, but I guess I'll at least do my best. That was kind of a conversation that could happen in your own mind between your freaking out self and your higher self that knows a bit better. The wonderful thing about performing music is that you do always have more chances. Performing, believe it or not, is not a life or death scenario. If you resist your physical symptoms and fight your insecurities, your body and mind just might end up fighting back, making you feel that you are in a more perilous situation than you actually are. Remind yourself that at the end of your performance, you will still be alive and available to learn, grow, and perform again another day. The physiological symptoms that your body experiences when you are nervous or anxious are often similar to the symptoms you experience when you're excited. The way your mind decides which state you're in is based on how you interpret your symptoms. Thankfully, after you accept your symptoms, what we resist persists, and the worst case scenario, you're still going to be alive after you perform today, you can flip the switch to a more empowering interpretation. Like the combined feelings of mild terror and thrilling anticipation as you ascend higher and higher on a mega roller coaster, you can either say to yourself, "This is scary," or flip the switch and say, "Here we go." If you could choose only one physical action to help yourself feel better while you're performing, choose breathing. Breathing is everything. Breathing deeply helps your respiratory, circulatory, and nervous systems function at their best. When you breathe well, you have more air for your flute, feel more energized, and can think more clearly. Try breathing in fully through your nose and exhaling slowly through your mouth. Do this many times and think, smell the perfume, blow out the candle. Smell the perfume, blow out the candle. As you breathe in, feel the energy and support as your body fills with air. As you exhale slowly through your mouth, pay attention to the way your body feels and notice any small element of relaxation you are able to access. Use this breathing exercise anytime you feel nervous symptoms clamoring for your attention. Continue breathing well as you accept your symptoms, accept your worst case scenario, and flip the switch before your performance. I'd like to show you another breathing exercise. It's my favorite, and I do this so many times before a performance. Even if it's the day before and I think of the performance and I'm nervous, I do this exercise. It's similar to smell the perfume, blow out the candle, but it's got counts with it. It's 2, 4, and 7. So do this with me right here, right now. We're going to breathe in for 2, hold for 4, slow out for 7 through the mouth. Couple more times. In through the nose. Hold. Slow out through the mouth. Last time. In through the nose for 2. Hold for 4. Slow out for 7. Now, breathing exercises like this don't eliminate performance anxiety symptoms, but they do help activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps your body know that you're not in danger. Remember, what we resist persists, but when we accept our symptoms and say, "I knew it would be this way," our body has a chance at relaxing a little bit and interpreting our symptoms as, "I'm excited, and here we go." Okay, let's talk a little bit about one of the performance anxiety triggers for musicians when you walk on stage and you don't really know how to be or what to do. Here is my advice. Imagine that you are the host or hostess at a party. To make your guests feel welcome, you smile, say hello, and offer them something lovely to eat or drink. You focus on their experience and want them to have a good time. In a similar way, you can be a good host for your audience. Whether you are performing music for a crowded auditorium, an intimate gathering at a house concert, or a single judge in a classroom, your audience is hoping to have a good experience and to hear some beautiful music. Just as you would when hosting a party, be interested in helping your audience have a wonderful time. When you focus on your audience's perspective, stage presence, bowing, and your overall approach to performing becomes a matter of creating a great experience for everyone involved. When you focus on the audience experience, it's amazing how it helps you get out of your head and into the magic of the moment. In the recital, make your audience feel comfortable by walking on stage energetically with a smile, and you do want to practice this in advance. Always bow to acknowledge applause first, then adjust your music on the stand. If you're performing in a situation where applause is not appropriate, you can still smile and walk on with confidence, but don't bow if there's no clapping. It's a little awkward if you do that. If you are playing for judges behind a screen, take time before you play and consider what you sound like from their perspective. It's just like scripting your thoughts. When you visualize and plan the way you want to be as you approach the stage or as you're getting ready to perform, it's like that movie that you've already written and directed, and then you just walk into the movie almost like it's already happened. You'll actually have a much better chance at enjoying what you're doing when you've imagined it all beforehand and you know exactly the energy level and spirit you would like to create. Remember, a perfectionist, by very definition, is set up to fail because there's no such thing as perfection. The more perfectionistic your internal monologue as you go to perform, the more likely your performance anxiety symptoms are going to feel like they're taking over. Here are a couple of tips to get out of that sort of self-defeating perfectionist mindset and into handling yourself like a pro on stage and feeling more performance confidence. Though it might seem like high-level musicians never make mistakes during live performances, in reality, they do. They are just really good at making it seem like everything is going as planned. They know that there is always a musical solution to a technical problem. Use the following guidelines to handle your performance mistakes like a pro. If you miss, squeak, or crack a note, continue playing as if it didn't happen. When you stay focused on the present moment, the audience will too. If you feel a sense of panic or discomfort as you approach a challenging technical passage, take care to slow into the challenge. You will be tempted to rush, but slowing into the challenge combats this tendency and allows you to focus on hearing each and every note that you play. If you notice that you're out of tune, adjust immediately while staying in the flow of the music. If you are sharp, it's okay. It may just be a reminder to relax, get that bobblehead swivel neck freedom. Whenever I squeak or crack or hear an out of tune note, it's just a reminder to refocus, rebalance, reconnect. If you make an obvious mistake, play the next musical moment so beautifully. Mistakes just send you a message that your focus or connection is not on point in that moment. Be grateful for the message and then refocus or reconnect so you can play more beautifully starting now. Speaking of now, the present moment, no matter what has happened during your performance so far, you can have a fresh start in the very next moment. The beginning of each new section, new phrase, and even new measure can be a chance to engage more fully in the music than you did the moment before. Anytime you have a substantial rest or time to take a filling breath, you have an opportunity to clear your mind, re-engage, and continue playing with renewed energy, momentum, and character. Here are the last two thoughts I'd like to share with you in this video about transcending performance anxiety and finding your way towards more and more performance confidence every time you walk on stage. First, play with passion. No matter what's on the line, first chair, prize money, parental approval, respect from your peers. Life is simply too short not to perform your heart out when you get the chance. You know you love music. If you didn't, the hours, weeks, months, or even years of preparation for a performance simply wouldn't be worth it to you. Remember that each and every time you are given the opportunity to play your flute for an audience, it is a privilege. Give nothing less than your best. Play with your most beautiful sound, your most intense and passionate focus, and do everything in your power to help the music come to life for you and your audience. Though I do faithfully use all the tools that I've described to you in this video to welcome my performance anxiety, I actually make friends with it. The tool that helps me the most is gratitude. When my heart is beating fast, my stomach is churning, and my thoughts are going crazy before a performance, I breathe in fully through my nose and slowly out through my mouth and start appreciating all that I have. I keep on breathing deeply and think about how lucky I am to have such a beautiful instrument and the opportunity to play such incredible music for others. I remember all the years of hard work, the difficult times and the joyful times I've experienced as a musician, and imagine that every moment of my musical life has led up to this point. I'm grateful in advance for any magic I can share with my audience. I'm even grateful for the mistakes that I will make during my performance. I know that each moment on stage is precious, and the lessons I will learn are not just good for me as a flutist and musician, but also as a person. Now, right in the middle of that take, as I almost started to cry, I almost thought, oh, I got to do this one again. But then I decided to go ahead and leave it because I wanted you to see how real these feelings are. And I just have to tell you, presence and gratitude are the key. You do not have to be perfect. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. What you need to do is be proud of yourself for doing the absolute best you can in this moment, right here, right now, with whatever preparation you have or haven't done, with whatever skills you do or don't have. Just show up, flaws and all, and share the music with your audience. I really like the author Brené Brown, and there's something that she said that it makes a really great mantra for moments like those when you're on stage and potentially freaking out, or your heart is racing, or you think, oh, I don't know if I can do this. She says, don't shrink, don't poof up. Stand your sacred ground.